All right, good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me move this around here. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Gold is oh look, we've got Sammy's joining us today. Sammy's joining the streams today. Welcome back, everyone. Happy Tuesday. If any of you guys new here, my name is Aaron Trades. I've been trading for the past 7 years, mainly focusing on gold futures here in the European session. And gold is off to an absolutely phenomenal start to the day, guys. Gold is having a huge move. Absolutely huge move. Good to see you. Good to see you too. Good to see you too. Appreciate you guys stopping by. I know some of you guys are already in these gold buys, which is incredible. I'm just trading on a combine today, and yeah, I did get these gold buys here pre-London for an absolutely phenomenal move. Excuse me. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Sorry, let me just grab a tissue. 2 seconds. All right, there we go. There we go. Yeah, nice W pattern. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal push here on gold, guys. Phenomenal push. Hope everyone's having a good week so far. We're back for another week. Another day in the markets. Gold having another crazy move here. We had a massive move down here. Look at this on gold, guys. This is absolutely insane. I wanted to hold some runners on this, but I would have made too much on this XFA, so I closed a lot around here. We spoke a lot about this liquidity level pre-London, and now we are just absolutely crazy day here. 100 plus ticks. From the lows of London, again, we're up 270 ticks. 270 ticks here pre-London. Gold's not waiting around for us anymore, guys. Gold is absolutely booming. Absolutely booming. Excuse me, guys. Let me blow my nose. I'm a little bit sick. Give me 2 seconds. That Melbourne weather got me a little bit sick. 2 seconds, guys. Sorry. All right, there we go. Yeah, you guys who did get that trade, any of you guys still in? You're still in. That's crazy. Yeah, what a hold. Where was your entry from, Patrick? That's a crazy hold. I mean, man, only a runner. That's the power of runners. This is a crazy move. Like I said, I wasn't planning on trading my XFAs. I was just planning on trading some combines today. You know, given the fact that we have such big news coming up tomorrow. And there is some trade talks coming today in London, so I was like, you know what, let me just trade the combine today, and this is huge. You're in from 36.1, yeah, that's right, man, 36.1, where are we? 36.1, around here, another 150 ticks. Wow. Yeah, I know. This is honestly this is what we've been seeing so much on gold recently. I say recently, the past day, gold's been having a lot of the moves at that 4:30 London time. The buys here again this morning started at 5:30. Same as yesterday in the London session, started around 3 to 4 a.m. Great buys at 5 to 6, and then nice pullbacks in London. Remember, guys, when we were on our London stream yesterday, remember how I said, guys, you know, when we jumped on, unfortunately, gold was already around here. And we said in order for us to get more trades, we need to see gold pull back before we continue buying. Well, that's exactly what we did yesterday. So gold ended up having a beautiful pullback yesterday. Before then, we called some amazing buys in the New York session. Once you came down, grab lows, you had an amazing 30-minute fake out play where gold ended up pushing into this liquidity level another 300 plus No, sorry, another 160 plus ticks. So we called some great buys yesterday in our pre-New York session. And this was our upper liquidity level, which didn't get hit here, but on the currency chart, it did actually get grabbed. So, you know, when you jump up and gold's pushed this much, remember, like I was saying to you guys, this isn't a place to take new trades. Remember I said yesterday to you guys, if you want to get some new trades, we want to get some new trades once we pull back. Well, that's exactly what we did yesterday. We topped out of this resistance. You kind of came back and fulfilled this sort of inverse head and shoulders, and then you came right up for that upside liquidity level. And it's probably going to be pretty similar here on gold again today. You know, we've already had a phenomenal push up here pre-London. So I do believe we're going to get more longs here on gold. But again, you know, where are we going to do it from? Well, we're going to need to see price pull back before we can continue buying. Yeah, so hey, NQ. Hey, Alan, what's going on, man? Appreciate you sticking by. Yeah, I did see NQ did have a huge sell-off as well. NQ had a massive sell-off, ES had a massive sell-off, and gold had a huge push higher. From what I saw, I couldn't see any recent news to kind of to share that move up, or to, you know, there is supposed to be some got 40 ticks out of this move today. Very happy, thanks Aaron. Yeah, amazing work, man. 40 ticks is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. You know, there was when was this? The focus stays on the details and the outcome of the US China trade talks in London today. I think one of the guys mentioned though that it was coming at around 10 a.m. London time. So there's been nothing that has come out this morning, as far as I'm aware of, to see this huge move up on gold and the massive sell-off that we saw on NQ and ES. But this is the main reason why I was like, okay, cool, I'm probably just going to trade some combines today, as well as, you know, we do have very big news tomorrow as well. So they're going to be the biggest days here in the markets. Well, clearly not. You know, clearly the markets are still having some very, very nice moves. Same here as NQ. I don't know if some of you guys did sell this. You ended up having a huge sell-off here at 6 a.m. An absolutely huge move. Remember yesterday, guys, I said if this daily flips bullish, we're going to come up some highs. We rebroke above this high and had a very nice move in NQ yesterday as well. Was this Asia? Asia, wow, that was actually the move in Asia. And didn't look like New York did too much on NQ. Let's do some fresh analysis here on NQ. You had a huge move up today in Asia before then having a massive pullback here pre-London as well. So we'll have a look at NQ properly in a second, guys. Let me just have a look at gold. We're going to get this 15-minute close in a second. I want to see if we can get some trades. If I do see some more opportunities, you know, I will be trading one of these XFAs instead, because these combines are pretty much locked out now. I think I can maybe make like an extra couple of hundred, which I'm not going to do. So these are pretty much locked out for the day. So yeah, I'll probably trade small size on an XFA, because there is the potential that I may be getting moved to live soon. I should hear back in a couple of days, apparently. Trump tweet? Did Trump tweet? Did I miss something? Did he? So I gotta get on Twitter more just to listen to what Donald Trump's saying. What did he say? Where is he? What's the date today? 10th. Nah, I can't see he said anything. But yeah, you literally have to be careful. 3,400. I mean, let's look at what we're overall looking for here today. So obviously, you know, we've had this incredible push up here today, which is, you know, probably the biggest move we have seen so far this week. If we take a look at the daily here on gold, yesterday, wow, look at this daily candle flipping bullish already here, guys. Is that the same as the currency? Wow, look at that. That's incredible. So this is what we were basically saying here pre-London. You know, a lot of the guys today were asking me, do I believe gold can come down into yesterday's low? And I'm kind of like, you know, it's possible, but it's not really a target for me. Because if I look at yesterday's candle, ignore what we have done so far here today. But I look at yesterday's candle, okay, cool. Yesterday we shorted into the lows, we grabbed the lows, and we ended up closing bullish. So I look at this today and I go, okay, cool. Where would I be looking to target today? Well, I'd be looking for gold to create a morning star play on the daily here, 3-bar reversal, to tap into yesterday's high. So to me, there's still room here on gold. There is still room up into yesterday's high. And from where we're currently at, you know, that's still another 150 plus ticks. So yesterday's high to me looks like a very nice target. Now, if we have a look at this 4-hour time frame here on gold, much nicer than the currency chart here. Let's get rid of some of these levels. These are our levels from yesterday. Let's get rid of this. Look at this yesterday, guys. Here, huge 4-hour fake out, massive drive up. Big 4-hour fake out here, massive drive up. So great buys at 7 a.m. London time here off this 4-hour fake out here in the currency chart. Broke below, broke back above, lovely push. Broke below, broke back above, lovely push. So two very nice 4-hour fake out levels. Previous daily highs sitting above here, and there's the potential for gold to retest some of these NFP breakout levels. To be honest, you know, to answer the question of do I think we can tap into 3,400, I think if we get near 3,400, we're going to come much higher. Because remember, you know, we have this huge trend line coming down here. It looks nicer on the currency chart. And we still haven't quite tapped into the second touch of the trend line, which is typically the liquidity level. So, you know, we're nowhere near it right now. But as an overall outlook, yeah, if we get back to 3,400, I think this range would be a very quick range fill. And that would be a huge move. Which above this, 3,400, we got 3,500, which is that all-time high resistance. We probably don't need to mark it on now, but just so you guys can see. And in between here, you got 3,450, which could also be a very, very big level. But in terms of what are we looking at for the next hour, because that's what we're really trying to do here, I like gold to tap into this daily high and come pull back into these areas. Now, given the fact that, you know, pre-London, we've already had an absolutely phenomenal push here, I'm going to need to see gold pull back to give us a good entry and give us a good risk to reward. Like I say, guys, it's not ideal when it pushes this much before we're able to jump on. But this is why I say to you guys, you know, be active on gold from like 5:30 London time. That doesn't mean you need to sit here and watch every single 5-minute candle closure. But, you know, remember, we've been saying a lot recently, and we've been seeing it together, that there's been a lot of moves on gold around that 4:30 London time. So around 4 to 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., moving forward, I'm going to be continuing to watch 30-minute closures here on gold. And that's how we were able to catch this very, very nice push up here today. So now that we have had this phenomenal push, expect a pretty range-bound London open here on gold, guys. So we'll have a look at some other markets as well. But, you know, what's the likelihood that gold's going to continue ripping up or rip down out of nowhere? It's unlikely. You know, this is in terms of probabilities, this is a 200 tick move up, almost a 300 tick move up. So the likelihood is we're going to have to create a range before, you know, we then look for that next big move. And that's what I said yesterday. We already yesterday had a great move up. And I said to you guys, if we're going to continue to trade London, we want to see price pull back, grab some lows, and then continue pushing. Well, we want to see pretty much the exact same thing here today. We want to see price come down, hold some support, liquidate some lows, and then fantastic. Then we can continue buying. So exactly the same thing. Remember yesterday I said to you guys, you know, this isn't an area to open new positions. This is an area for you to accept. You know, if you didn't catch this move for whatever reason, that's fine. Who cares? What you want to do is just wait. Wait for price to pull back like it's going to. Grab some lows, break out, and then great. Then you get your trade from here to here. So stay patient during this. Don't force. Don't revenge trade. Be aware that, you know, you might have a little bit of fear of missing out. Accept it and wait. Same as here right now. If you guys aren't able to have caught this move up, that's fine. Like I said to you guys, we don't control the markets, we trade them. So you can't control what gold's going to do next. All you can control is what you decide to do. In terms of probabilities and looking at the markets from the most neutral perspective possible, it's very likely that you're now going to have to create some space and create a bit of a range. And if you decide to trade that range and you get chopped up and you get frustrated and you get annoyed, you only have yourself to blame. Okay, the markets didn't tell you to start buying after a huge move up. You decided to make that decision. So for me here on gold, I have to let gold create some space. Create some space, grab some lows, break above, and then fantastic. Then I can get my buys. Exactly the same here. Create some space, grab some lows, break above, and then I can get my buys. 160 plus ticks. So we'll be looking for pretty much the same thing here today on gold, guys. If we can get some steep pullbacks, great. You know, we may be looking for buys maybe closer to 830-ish. If we can come down, create a nice inverse head and shoulders here. More buys up into 3360 and up into 3370 to me looks like a very, very nice target. We're back at our daily I kind of call it resistance right now, I guess, because you broke below it, you've held it as resistance, but I do believe we're going to break back above and hold it as support. So yeah, I really like longs up into yesterday's high, but you know, if we want to take new buy positions on gold, we want to do it at logical area. And for me, that logical area would be a little bit of a pullback back down here. So with that being said, you know, we'll look at some other markets. We'll give gold time to breathe. We'll think in terms of probabilities, not what we want to see. We won't get emotional. We'll accept it. We'll wait. And then great, we can still get our next move. And these were the buys from here yesterday, guys. We said fake out buys back above this resistance. You came down, liquidated lows, held support, and you had a great buy. So rather than getting FOMO, getting frustrated, and revenge trading in here, accept it, wait for that next opportunity, which will come in a couple of hours, and you'll make 100 plus ticks. And it's very much worth the wait. So we'll be doing the exact same thing here today. Yeah, 2K day, yeah, just on a combine, unfortunately. I said not unfortunately, I decided to make the decision to not trade my XFAs today, but yeah, you know, not a bad day. I had a very nice buy. I wanted to hold more runners, but I couldn't make any more on these XFAs, so it was a very nice move. If I got this on my XFAs, yeah, I'd be absolutely booming. I probably would have held it up to at least here, 100, maybe even 150, 100 ticks. A really nice move. How much do you risk on your combines? Depends. I trade 1 to 2 to trading 3 contracts here on this XFA. To get all of my 50s, just trading one. One contract's more than enough, especially for gold. One contract on gold. Depends on what you trade. If you trade NQ, it's going to be very different. You know, one contract on gold and one contract on NQ is very different. But for me, trading gold, yeah, more than enough. More than enough. One contract. 1 to 2 contracts. 1 for 50. You know, 2 for 100. Yeah, still awesome. Yeah, absolutely, man. Definitely. Yeah, it was a really nice call. The whole reason I was buying from down here, because some of the guys were asking, there's a few reasons why I was buying from down here. The first reason, it's massive daily support. It's massive daily support. It's massive 4-hour support. I'm not trying to short this area. I have no interest in selling down here. If I want to sell gold, it's back up here. So I was kind of looking at it from the perspective of, okay, cool. If I want to short gold, I want to do it up here. Well, rather than me waiting for price to get there and then trying to short, well, why don't I see if I can buy up into it? So what I kind of saw is here, you know, at, let's see, 3 a.m. London time, we came down, grabbed lows and closed bullish. So I was like, okay, cool. This to me looks pretty nice. We're forming some sort of support and we have a nice liquidity grab. So here, as this hourly here, this is when I jumped on the charts, as this hourly here was coming down and tapping into these lows, that's then where I was like, okay, great. That's when we can start dropping down to the 15 or 30 minute, and then we can look for our fake out and breakout trades. So initial trade from here, and then more from here once we start to break back above. So daily support, 4-hour support, an hourly liquidity levels, and a 30-minute fake out. Like this would have actually been a much better trade. If I had waited for this, this would have been a much better trade. Because you had a 30-minute fake out confirmation and you had hourly support. So you're grabbing previous hourly support and a 30-minute fake out. Like that actually would have been a much nicer trade. And it's also, what's this? This is a beautiful hourly morning star. Reject, grab the lows, there's your push. Risk off this low, huge trade. So there was a lot of reasons. You just got to be you got to be on it early, and that's what gold's been doing recently. Gold's not really been moving as, I say recently, it's the past like 2 days, you know, but the past couple of days, we have seen gold moving at like 4 to 5 to 6 a.m. before the London opens. I was like, okay, cool. Today I'm going to be here. I'm going to be ready for it. Coach Hoop in the house. Welcome. Nice bounce on gold. Yeah, incredible bounce on gold this morning. Absolutely huge bounce on gold. Pulled myself out for 70 tick loss in Asia. Nice. Good job, man. Wait for something cleaner. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really nice bounce. 50k account. Can I still trade WOD mini? Yeah, you can. You can, depend on if you're in a combine, you can trade up to 5. You don't need to trade anywhere near 5. But yeah, you can absolutely trade one mini. To pass the combines, I would say 1 mini is more than enough. You shouldn't be getting anywhere near 5. Depends on your risk and what you're trading, but for me on gold, 1 is absolutely more than enough. More than enough. I know. Let's have a look, because gold's gonna, like I say, gold's gonna need some time here, guys. Think in terms of logic, not emotion. You know, if you weren't able to catch this push up already this morning, it might be frustrating, it might be annoying, but like I say to you guys, you know, we don't control the markets, we just trade them. If gold's already had a push up here and you weren't able to catch it, accept it and wait. What's the likelihood that we're going to continue having another massive move? It's unlikely. You're going to need to create space, you're going to need to range, you're going to need to pull back to gain liquidity, and then you're going to have the continuation move. So don't think in terms of emotions, think in terms of probability. And the probabilities right now would tell us we probably need to create some space before we get that continuation. So gold's going to need a little bit of time here. So if you guys weren't able to catch it, like I say, it is what it is. Accept it and wait. We've got plenty of time. I'm out on the runner. Nice, nice, nice. Where did you get out, man? You just trail? Yeah, absolutely, Coach Hoop. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, like I say, it's you know, it's had a great move, and I know it's sometimes it's so easy to get that fear of missing out, and you know, all logic and probability just goes out the window. You know, but we always have to see the charts from that neutral perspective, and this is a really big move here pre-London. This is almost a 300 tick move. You know, 300 ticks even in one day is huge. To happen pre-London is absolutely massive. So we just have to accept it and wait. And yeah, we do have some of that news coming out. I think it's around 10 a.m.-ish London time in about 2 hours or so. London Open coming up in about 4 minutes here, guys. Coming up in about 4 minutes. So let's move this here. Look at crude. Yep, absolutely. Let's have a quick look at NQ, because I know NQ did have a nice push today as well. NQ had a big push in Asia and London. In Asia, you had a crazy move up. I checked the stocks this morning. My stocks are probably back down. I have some long-term stock plays, and they were absolutely booming today. They're probably right back down after this crazy pullback. Oh, no, not really. Still up like 4,000. But yeah, we had a huge run up on NQ here in Asia today. We tapped into some huge daily resistance. Massive, massive, massive daily resistance. That's been held for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, basically 5 days. And we're instantly having a decent sell-off. Where are we? Having a decent sell-off already to start the London session, with gold squeezing high. We got NQ having a very big pullback. You tapped into previous 30-minute highs and just broke aggressively. So could this be the start of a potential pullback here on NQ? To be honest, it would be healthy. I honestly don't think it'd be that surprising. You know, to have a deeper correction, maybe back down into these areas. There's the potential that if this hourly closes like this in 2 minutes, guys, you could be looking for an hourly wick fill here. An hourly wick fill and NQ to pull back down into these areas. You said wait for long. Why not short for a bit? Because if you take a short on gold right now, you're shorting against a 300 tick bullish move. And if I get stopped out trying to short against a 300 tick move, that's probably going to send me on tilt. That's going to be a tilt trigger right there. And that's what we don't want to do. If you try and short from up here on gold, you're probably shorting off the fact that you didn't catch this. I personally don't see any logic to short this on gold. Now, that's not to say that it can't pull back, but I don't want to be fighting the markets. I want to be following them. And if gold's just moved 300 ticks, I want to be continuing to buy that. I'm not really too interested in trying to trade against that. So if you do want shorts on gold, it's not that it's necessarily wrong, but you'd want to see a pretty decent breakout in order for you to want to consider sells. Because what have we just done for the past like 2 hours? We've had a huge move up. So the only people who are trying to short this are the ones who weren't able to catch the very easy move up. So if I try and sell this on gold and I get stopped out, I'm going to look back and I'm going to go, wow, why on earth was I trying to short a 300 tick bullish push? So for me personally, if I'm going to short gold, you know, maybe I'd have to get like a pretty strong like 30-minute or hourly breakout for me to even want to consider shorts against this big move. Like I say, we want to be following the markets, not fighting them. Trade what's right in front of us, not what you think. So yeah, NQ, if we can break out here in 1 minute, we got London Open coming up here as well, guys. You could be looking for an hourly wick fill. About to be 12 a.m. here in Arizona. That's a grind, late night grind. Appreciate it. Appreciate you tuning in. Remember, you guys on YouTube, drop a like for the Topstep stream as well. We'll see if we can get anything here today. Like I say, gold's on a crazy move. But yeah, this initial hourly rejection here on NQ could be a trap to bring in some buyers. I wouldn't be too surprised to see this fill this whole range. Has ES kind of done the same? Yeah, same as ES. Come down and fill in this hourly wick here, rejection. This rejection could be a trap to bring in some early buyers, and then before you know it, you can come down and fill in that whole entire wick. So where would you want to get short here on NQ? London Open here as well, guys. Where would you want to get short here on NQ? Well, you have just closed back below. Let's see. Nice resistance level here. You've just closed back below, so if you can get a bit of a top wick, hold these areas, and then break some lows, you could look for some nice shorts. Let me just see. Yeah, GC's got Tuesday up late, yeah. Can you trade over 5 lots? I'm new and trying to get funded. Which account size, man? So you can trade a maximum of 5 on a 50, a maximum of 10 on 100, and a maximum of 50 on 150. That's minis as well. What is tilt? Tilt's like when you go on tilt, like when you start making crazy, irrational, emotional, and zero logic decisions. Then you end up doing things you know you shouldn't be doing, and yes, you end up oversizing, over-risking, and mentally blowing up. Yeah, you guys in the late night grind, that's what we'd like to see. So gold broke back below, NQ broke back below, trying to hold these areas, see if you can break some lows here on NQ, and you could be looking for price to come down and fill in these wicks here. Now, someone did say, can I look at crude? Yep, absolutely, Daniel, I agree. More than enough, man, more than enough. It's huge on a day like today. We've had a crazy push up here. Let me just have a quick look at gold here, guys. We just had this London Open, and the London Open's still bullish. You're at least gonna have to tap into previous hourly highs, and then you could actually be coming up to fill in this range here, which is still 100 tick range. There's still room to get some trades here on gold. We just want to do it from a good area. So all we want to see here to get some buys on gold, it's just a little bit of a pullback, and then great, we can get some buys. Buys aren't off the cards yet, guys. We still got more room here, but in order for us to take new buy positions, we need to do it in an area where we can manage risk. So if I'm going to look for a good risk reward, it's going to be pulling back into sort of a very large inverse head and shoulders area, and then we can look for some fake out buys. Ideally, we close below, close back above. Great, nice fake out buys all the way back up into these NFP lows as well. Yeah, we can have a look at. Let's have a look at crude. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's go to the daily. So what have we done here on crude? Wow, broken back above 65. Look at that, from 60 to 65, very, very quick. What did we do when we came down into 60? Look at that, we liquidated a lot of support. So what does that mean? It means we stopped out a lot of early buyers before then having this great push up. Very, very similar to what gold loves to do. Look at that, huge support. People jumping in longs, where do they sit their stops? Right down just below the low. So ideally, you're shorting into that. And then once you grab the lows, great. If you start breaking back to the upside, you do have some longs. So crude is looking pretty bullish here. Breaking back above 65 is a big weekly level. Let me just have a quick look at the, not monthly, but let's have a quick look. Monthly opening, tapping into May's high here. Coming back in some big resistance levels. I mean, makes sense. Last week closed very bullish. Last week you finally broke out of this range. After grabbing the lows, you finally broke out. But where could you buy crude into? I mean, where's next? 67.50-ish? Daily time frame here. I mean, It's tough. The reason I say it's tough is because you're, buying into this liquidity and buying into this resistance was great. But now that you're here, well, do you want to be shorting against this? Not really. But do you want to be buying into this resistance? Also not really. I think there's nicer opportunities out there than crude. But I would be aware of this big resistance. 4 hour tapped into it, you just closed back below. Could you be looking for a bit of a pullback? Maybe. It depends if a pullback trade is your trade. For me personally, it's not. But could you come back down and retest some highs? Retest 65 before squeezing higher? Yeah, possibly. I personally think there's much nicer opportunities than that. I think there's much nicer opportunities. It's like when it's had this huge breakout, if you feel like you're always kind of stuck in the pullback trades, just let the pullbacks happen and then take the easy continuation trades. Follow the markets. Don't always be so fixated on trying to catch the pullback trades. The only way that I'll like to trade pullback trades is if I've made money on the way up. For instance, on gold right now. If I see that gold can have the potential to pull back, the only way that I will try and short that pullback is if I've made money on the way up and I may want to leverage a little bit of that profit for whatever reason. But if I haven't maximized this push up and I'm trying to take a pullback all the time, that's when you always get caught up in the pretty poor trades. So pullback trades on an intraday time frame, it's not my preferred trade. So what I was basically saying on crude is, there is the potential for this to pull back, but is that my trade? Not really. I personally would rather see price pull back, break out, and then see if you can continue breaking higher. It looks like NQ's having a little bit of a squeeze here as well, guys. 6 minutes into the London Open. Great show, thank you, man. Thank you. Hopefully, gold can give us some trades. Always used to try and catch pullbacks. I'm not here to time tops or bottoms, and that's exactly what we're doing. It's not worth. Yeah, absolutely, man. That's it. Sometimes it's so easy to get caught in the pullback trades, and you look back and you go, man, like our job is to make our life as easy as we can. Trading's already hard enough, so we want to be looking for the easy trades or the easier trades. Trading's never easy, but we want to be looking for the easier trades, and that's the ones where we're following the markets. We don't want to be fighting the markets. We don't want to be predicting the markets. We want to be in flow with the markets. So this was the liquidity level from yesterday on copper. We held these highs here, had a lovely pullback, really nice run up. And then look at this slow grind down here on Asia. In Asia and towards the end of the day, really big slow grind down here after, look at that, lovely move up. Not too sure what's going on with copper, and just a really slow. False signs of trying to find some support, still creeping down. I mean, it looks like, you're going to have a bit of a breakout, but I would like to see it actually break out, because a lot of these false breakouts can get you trapped in some pretty poor trades. Like here, grab lows, you tried to push up, straight back down. Tried to push up, straight back down. So copper, let's have a look at the daily. Let me get rid of some of these levels. So our liquidity levels have pretty much got hit everywhere. These have been hit. These have been hit. This has been hit. These have been hit. This has been hit. We haven't quite hit these highs here, which is interesting. Looks like a pretty nice level up there. Triple top. Had the daily close yesterday. Closed bullish, but where did we close bullish at? Massive resistance. Huge resistance. So you got big resistance on copper around 92. Where's your support? Back down at 4.75. So could you be coming down to maybe grab some of these lows before a potential push higher? Maybe you kind of got two equal lows down there. Big resistance. I wouldn't really want to be a buyer up here. Again, copper does look pretty messy. 4 hour time frame here. Came up, grabbed some highs, held resistance, having a bit of a pullback. Decent support level there, though. You just came down, you just tapped into previous 4 hour lows, instantly rejecting. Could you see copper for a breakout? Maybe. I would like to see a breakout on copper. If you break out, you could actually maybe get a continuation trade here. Back up into 96. if you can hold this maybe big inverse head and shoulders. But if I'm going to get a trade on copper, I would like to personally see at least the first 30-minute closure of the London session here. Gold trying to re-break back higher again, guys. But I said you don't want to be trying to sell gold here. Yeah, if you can see copper break out and hold above these areas, you know, you could see some nice pullbacks of this big move down. And who knows, like, could this just be a corrective pullback before a continuation of this lovely move up yesterday? Maybe. Remember, guys, Wednesday is going to be the big day for pretty much all markets. We have a lot of news coming on Wednesday, and nothing really substantial here today. Tomorrow's going to be the big day. You got CPI tomorrow, 1:30 London time, and then we got PPI 1:30 London time on Thursday, and then on Friday we got consumer sentiment. So don't be too surprised to see some big ranges created today. Now, it doesn't mean you can't take trades. It's just something to be aware of. Something to be aware of. We can't trade USD yen, but we can look at the yen index. Absolutely. Look at that, guys. NQ came here, broke below. You're holding it, squeezing lower. I don't trade NQ, but it's not a bad short to short down into this hourly wick fill. So USD yen 6J is the yen futures. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I'd love to get, like I said, I'd love to get some trades here together, guys. But gold has already had such a crazy move that, like I said, I'm not going to be selling it, and I'm also not going to be buying from here. So you just got to kind of let it create some space. Like I mentioned, guys, if gold does create a range from here, it's not going to be surprising. So don't get frustrated with it. It's completely normal. The only way you'll get frustrated if gold creates a range is because you're not thinking from probabilities and logic. So let's have a look at the yen index. Again, Wednesday will be a big day here for the yen. Let's get rid of all of this. Let's do some fresh analysis here on the yen. What have we been up to for quite some time? And we're overall very bearish. We have these big runs, huge push down, run down. So what's this daily time frame? Let me just have a quick look at last week's candle. Haven't looked at the yen in a while, so I just want to have a quick look. How did last week close? Last week did close bearish, but where are we coming into? Huge weekly support. Let me just have a quick look at the monthly. Wow, see, to me, this monthly looks like we're going to push higher. Daily time frame, you did create two equal lows here, and you've just tapped into Friday's low, which is the low of NFP, and you're instantly rejecting. So we're clearly at very big support. So yeah, for a short, I'm not sure about a short. Let's see. The only thing is with a short, like where is your target? Do you have any targets for a short? Because you have, you know, if you break this support, then great. You can say the lows down here look fantastic. But with this, the fact this came down, grabbed the support, and actually closed bullish. I mean, kind of finding resistance also, maybe a little bit of a range. Now, I haven't traded the yen very often, but if this was how I would be analyzing gold, I'd say, cool, you got double top, which would be a nice buy target. But still holding the resistance. You got to trade what we see, not what we think. So you got some support being held down here. You got resistance being held down here. I don't think this is very nice. I think, like I say, if you want to short, I think just shorts on NQ and ES. I think that's much nicer. I mean, to be fair, that was a nice grab. Look at that for a grab. Grab them highs, close back below. If I was short, I'd be managing from here. This is a pretty big make or break level right now. So I'm not sure if you are short or where you are short from. I mean, if you're short from the highs, amazing. This would be a pretty decent management area. Because I wouldn't be too surprised if this can hold as a sort of inverse head and shoulders. Then you can maybe see if you can come up and squeeze some of this trendline liquidity. So it's not a bad short, but if I was short, here would be a good management area for me. Pretty make or break level. If you break back below, you know, maybe you can squeeze it short. But if you start rejecting from here, I wouldn't be too surprised. Maybe you can pull back up into these highs here as well. Yeah, a lot of chop here. Yeah, that's the thing. We have had some crazy moves already, Tig. As I say, you know, it's not very often that we see pre-London having such huge moves, but yesterday we saw it, and we're also seeing it again today. So, you know, again, with NQ having a huge move down, a bit of chop from here, again, like I said, you have to think of the markets from that neutral perspective. It really wouldn't be that surprising. But if I look at this on the hourly, yeah, to me, to fill in this wick looks good. I reckon this is probably trapping in a lot of buyers. Maybe a lot of people see this rejection and be like, okay, cool, great. You know, this is going to be the big rejection of the support. We're going to see some new highs from here. And personally, I don't think that's how NQ moves. I think if you were going to have a big push up, which I don't really see happening, I would still believe you're probably going to come down, grab some of those before doing something like that. And also keeping in mind that, you know, we are at major daily resistance and weekly resistance. You know, NQ has been on a huge recovery with not very much of a pullback, to be honest. I think a pullback on NQ would be healthy, to be honest. You know, this is since April, phenomenal run with no real significant pullback. You know, even when you see these huge runs, you still get these great pullbacks. You know, massive run, lovely pullback, big run, huge pullback. Well, we haven't really seen that for quite some time. And where do we start the year? Since we're back at highs of what? February, which is crazy. Where did we start the year on NQ? Around here. And we dropped to lows of what, 25%, to now be almost back to positive on the year, which is crazy. So to find some resistance from here on NQ, all-time high resistance, you also have May's high. A pullback, to be honest, would be pretty healthy. That's just an overall outlook. In terms of what we can see for London, this wick fill looks pretty nice here. Does look pretty nice. What's Goldie up to? Goldie creating a little bit of range, which is good. That's what we want to see. Yeah, previous weekly highs. Yep. Previous weekly highs. Previous monthly high as well, which is huge. Could give a bit of a pullback, which again, it would be nice. Like I say, if we can get a big pullback on NQ, I would like to see that, because I do have some much larger long-term stock plays that I would like to buy more, to be honest. It wouldn't surprise me if, you know, by the end of this year we end up positive, if not, you know, 5 plus 10% higher. But I would like to see some big pullbacks, because I would buy some more stocks. Yep, you can absolutely copy trade. You can copy trade combines. Yep, I'm copy trading these two combines here. Yep. Looks like gold's creating a W pattern on the 4 hour. Let's have a look, man. Let's have a look. Is that on the future? Yeah. Yeah, see, I look at this. I look at gold here in the currency, and 33.50 looks like a great target. Let me just show you guys on YouTube. I do like to correlate it with the currency chart here. And yeah, to be honest, I look at this and I go, okay, cool. This looks great to have a pullback, especially if we get this 4 hour fake out. Can you copy trade my combines? I keep blowing them as well. Unfortunately not. So what we could see here on gold on this currency chart with this 4 hour, if this closes bullish in almost 2 hours, this is going to be a massive fake out confirmation where you could see this next 4 hour closer to pre-New York, come down for a bottom wick, and then fill this whole range back up into 33.50. It's very possible. Very possible. I say the reason I didn't short Asia today is because I just don't like shorting daily support. So I didn't take any of this downside push on gold today. Where's our chart? Sorry. Where are we? Even though it would have been a great short, you know, you still could have made some great money. I personally was happy to wait for this turnaround to get long. I didn't sell any of this in Asia today. And the reason I didn't is because I just didn't really have any downside targets. And I was like, you know, that's fine. You know, we're not here to catch every single up and down move. We're here to catch the move that makes sense to us. And we're here to catch, you know, we're here to trade our plan, not, you know, buy here, sell here, buy here, sell here, buy here, sell here. You know, we're here to catch the moves that fit our plan. So for me, this short wasn't in my plan today. Like, that's fine. That's okay. But once it does find support and it starts grabbing lows, great. I'm right back into my original daily bias, which is price coming up and tapping into yesterday's high. And that's okay to, you know, it's okay to not be in a move or to not be in every single up and down move. Like I say to you guys, you know, we're here to trade quality over quantity. Come on, I'll be honest, you just don't like shorting gold at all. I definitely would say I'm more comfortable buying gold. Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind shorting gold, but I definitely find myself better at buying gold. I mean, with the run gold's been on this year, it has had some great trades. Had some great buys last week on gold. Great buys here again today. How do we know if Trump speaks and it impacts price movement? Unfortunately, that's the game. We don't. We just react to what we see. We don't. I mean, the way we know he speaks is, you know, you can even watch it. You can watch it live. But I let the charts tell me, you know, what he's saying and what's being mentioned. The charts are my main indication of where price wants to go. If Trump says something bad for gold and gold starts going down, great, there's my short. The candlestick's going to paint everything for us. That's crazy. My journal of the month, gold and early NQ, all longs. That's crazy, man. I mean, it's been working very well, especially on NQ. It's been working very well, man. Very well. And I guess that helps, you know, when you got your daily buys, it also helps you to not get trapped in rubbish pullback trades. You know, you might miss some trades sometimes, but who cares? We're here to get consistent, not here to catch every single up and down move in the markets. Yeah, 3360, where's that? Yep, 3360. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for as well. Coach Hoop, very similar. I'm looking for yesterday's high. Yesterday's high looks like a really nice target today. And then also this big breakout level from NFP as well. That's kind of what I'm thinking here today as well. I think it's probably going to come closer to New York. Yeah, I've got these highs here and this big breakout level from NFP. Looks like a nice correction zone on gold. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for basically gold to come down, a little bit of correction, and then see if you can get something like this. That 3360 level, yeah, lines up very nicely with these highs, and it also lines up with these pre-NFP breakout levels as well. And the thing is, if we start breaking back above these 360 levels, it's going to be interesting to see if gold fills all the way back up into 3400. Remember, let's have a quick look at the higher time frame here. How did last month close? Last month closed very doji. I mean, the thing is, you know, we are still extremely bullish. Weekly, yeah, I guess the weekly's been in a pretty tough range. But the thing is, you know, we came down into last week's low and we're starting to break out. You could easily see a wick fill into last week's high, which would then bring you back into highs of 3480, which would be, you know, it'd take quite a while to have a big move like that. But as an overall outlook, yeah, it really wouldn't be too surprising. Yeah, just like trading apps, so it doesn't mean to be perfect, just consistent. Absolutely, man. That's trading to a T. Hi, Aaron. I'm currently doing a 50k combine. How do you add additional combines? Is it through reset options? If you want to add additional combines, that's just by purchasing a new combine. If you purchase a reset, that will reset the account you have. So if you want to purchase additional combines, you just need to buy new combines, and then they'll show up here in your Topstep account. And I'm going to do. Oh, sorry, I just said that. How do you figure out your bias for the day? I struggle with that. It's very simple. Like when I do my daily analysis, my daily analysis honestly doesn't take me that much thought process. And what I mean by that is when I look at my daily charts, I'm trying to analyze, you know, how could today close and where would we likely push into. When I'm doing my daily analysis, you know, for in-trade trading, I'm not looking all the way back here. I'm more so just trying to look at what did yesterday's candle do. So for in today's example, actually I'll give you. Okay, so my bias coming into the charts on Monday was bearish. Why? Because here, we grabbed highs, we closed bearish, we continued selling off on Friday. So my bias coming onto the charts here was bearish. And that bottom wick trade yesterday, gave us about 200 ticks. Amazing. Now, when I come onto the charts today, and I go, okay, cool. How did we end up actually closing? We grabbed the lows and we closed bullish. So, okay, cool. This was a massive push down to then find support and actually close bullish could confirm that there's some big support being held down here. So when I jump on the charts today, I'm basically imagining, well, today we need to come down, create the bottom wick, and then we could be looking to buy up into yesterday's high. So what I really want to do is just, follow the volume of the previous day. When we're grabbing highs and closing bearish, I'm selling Friday. Because we grabbed highs and closed bearish, I'm shorting this day. Even this day, we grab lows and we close bullish. I'm still buying this day. Maybe it didn't work out, that's fine, that's trading. But I want to be following these daily candles. And it is literally just based off how we're breaking out. Where's the liquidity sitting? So for me right now, we came down, we grabbed the lows of Friday and held support. So where would be the next most logical level that we need to tap into? I would say yesterday's high, which would also set up nicely around this resistance. So the reason I wasn't selling gold today is because I liked how yesterday grabbed lows and closed bullish. So today, I was looking for a price to have a bit of a pullback before then I can get my longs. And that's pretty much what we're doing. So now I look for this and I go, cool. Yesterday's high looks like a pretty easy target. So my daily bias, it honestly doesn't take that much time or thought process. How did yesterday close? Have we grabbed any liquidity? Where are my next levels? Cool. That's going to paint my picture for how I jump on the charts today. Like I say, you're not going to be right every time, but that's not the goal. My daily bias could be wrong, but that doesn't mean I take a loss because I might not get a reason to go long. For instance, today, if I'm looking for longs on gold, but price is just continuing to break to the downside, well, I might just not take a trade that day. Having a daily bias just saves you from getting trapped in, too many bad positions and too much lower time frame noise. Sometimes I jump on the charts and I don't necessarily have a daily bias. So then when I drop down to lower time frame, I'm a lot more neutral. For example, when gold's kind of down here and we're going bearish, bullish, bearish, I jump on the charts on these days, I'm like, okay, cool. There's not much of a daily bias, so I'm going to be a little bit more neutral and let the lower time frame paint the picture, or just be a little bit more cautious. But when I see this daily breaking out like this, okay, cool. This day, easy buys. So not every day, even here, like when I see this daily, Monday, very bullish. Tuesday, grab highs, close bearish. When I come on the charts on this day, I'm like, I'm not really too sure how today's going to close. So I'm like, okay, cool, that's fine. Let me trade lower time frame as normal, see if that can tell me anything different. But then as soon as I see this candle here, grab the highs and close bearish, this day I'm like, great, easy sells. Well, nice. Let me put that. I'll put that on after that. That sounds great. Let me save that in here, man. I'd like to see that. Let me save that. What's it called? Nice. I'll put that on after, man. Let me put that in there. So yeah, it's pretty much just trying to understand like how did the previous day close? Are we bullish or bearish? Where's liquidity sitting? We grab lows, close bullish. Where's liquidity sitting? Previous daily high. And that's my daily bias done. Like it doesn't take too much thought process. And the days that we jump on and the daily bias isn't as clear, well, that's fine. You either be a little bit more patient or you let the lower time frame kind of paint your direction. Yeah, daily bias on NQ. So very simple. I'm trying not to picture how today's opened. Honestly, coming onto the charts today, I'm trying to let's just ignore today's candle because I want to do this as if we were going to do some homework this week. Let me get rid of all this. Let me get rid of this so we can't see this. Oh, it didn't really help, did it? That'll do. When I see, it's kind of messy, but when I see today's candle, if I was looking for a daily bias here today, oh, I can't go back anymore. I've lost all my analysis. Oh well. My daily bias coming onto charts here today would be very neutral. I honestly couldn't really tell you too much about how today's candle will form, because yesterday, you closed bullish on Monday, but Friday you closed very bullish. Monday you closed pretty doji, and you closed doji right at massive resistance. So my daily bias coming in today would be, I need to be patient today. I need to be patient. I need to be more conservative. Why? Because, yesterday didn't really tell me too much, and we're coming right into resistance. So I wouldn't really have too much of a daily bias today. However, now that I look at it, and now price has given me some time and it's developed, I kind of look at this and I go, okay, cool. We're liquidating previous daily highs. So now I go, okay, cool. Next logical target, Monday's low and current daily low. So now that price has developed, starting the session in Asia, I might say, I'm not really too sure how today's candle is going to close. I'll let price develop a little bit more. Now I go, okay, cool. Price has developed a little bit more. We've held this resistance. We've also liquidated last week's high, and now we're starting to have a bit of a pullback. So now I'd go, okay, cool. Daily time frame, current daily low, previous daily low, looks like a nice target. When we drop down to our hourly time frame, that's the levels that we've already spoken about here. So now it starts to line up well. So sometimes you might jump on the charts and the daily time frame's not clear. That's fine. Give it some time, wait, let the markets develop, let the markets come to you, and then it will start to make more sense as price develops. Sometimes you need more price action on the charts to be able to call a direction, but most people aren't patient enough to actually wait for that, and they get frustrated if they can't read price action right away. But if I can't read price action right away, I'm like, that's fine. I'll come back in an hour, 2 hours, and I can guarantee it will make much more sense. So you might not know what's going on up here. If this rips down and rips that down, back below, you go, okay, cool now, great. Liquidity wick fill, which is the low of the day, and this hourly low, and yesterday's low. Great, now I can start taking my trades. Is gold still pushing here? It looks like gold's still pushing here, guys. Again, there's a reason I'm not shorting gold. Have we had any liquidity grabs to go? Oh, we actually did. Look at this on gold. So we just came down, we liquidated these 15-minute lows, and we instantly started rejecting. That's a nice liquidity grab there. Had that 30-minute close there on gold. Grab the lows and close bullish. Yeah, you may see gold squeeze from here, guys. How many hours per day do you stay in front of the screen? Honestly, when I'm not on the stream with you guys, very little. I'm pretty much, whenever I'm not on stream with you guys, I'm pretty much watching 30-minute candle closures. So when I'm trading Asia, for example, today I was looking for longs. So every time this 30-minute closed below levels, I didn't need to watch the price. I waited for 30 minutes to close bullish, cool, then I'll fire up my charts. Gold squeeze and just squeeze these highs, continue pushing up into these highs. Squeeze this little resistance level, squeeze out any sellers here. Squeeze these resistance levels. So when I'm not streaming with you guys, honestly, very little. Maybe like 30 minutes to an hour. All in all, including the streams with you guys, I'd probably say like 2 to 3 hours is more than enough for me. By that point, I'm probably getting a little bit fatigued, a little bit burnt out. But when I'm, trading on my own, it's very simple for me to see if there's a trade or not. For instance, right now, if I wasn't on stream with you guys, there's no new positions for me up here. Same as yesterday with you guys. Remember, when we jumped on, price is already up here. And that's what I said to you guys. I know there's going to be no trades for me up here. So let me walk away for an hour, 2 hours, come back, and then get my trade. Kind of same thing right now. There's going to be no new positions for me here right now. So, obviously I'm happy to sit down and break it down here with you guys. But if I was trading on my own right now, I'd be walking away and I'd be coming back in at least like an hour's worth of price action. So you kind of want to get good at understanding, is there going to be a good position in the next, half an hour to an hour? And the way that you'll be able to tell that is, well, we've had a huge push today. The likelihood is you're probably going to range or have a bit of a pullback. So if I was on my own, I'd be like, cool, let me come back in an hour and let price develop. Same as NQ. If NQ's having this massive push up and you weren't able to get it for whatever reason, well, rather than getting frustrated and trying to chase longs from up here, wait, come back in an hour. Cool, we've pulled back. Oh, great. Now let me see if I can get a short. It's been working good so far. Nice. Yeah, I'll have to have a look at that for sure. What kind of volume are you waiting for on gold to confirm your trend day? Well, what we've already seen, where I took my buys earlier on gold. Just a nice 30-minute fake out, for example. Hourly support here. Break below, break right back above. That's enough volume for me to start buying. In terms of new positions, just a pullback. There's great volume already. I just won't take new positions up here. If I'm going to buy gold, I'm going to be buying gold at support, not at resistance. So for the buys here this morning, you had a nice 30-minute fake out, and you also had major hourly support. So very nice hourly support and a 30-minute fake out. So it's not necessarily what volume do you want to see, it's more so you want to see it at good areas. So you had great volume at hourly lows. Imagine holding runners on this. This would have been absolutely huge. Coming right up into them previous hourly highs here as well, guys. Anyone shorting here, getting squeezed out? That's the reason I said don't sell. There's no shorts here. Do you ever come back an hour and go, oh, shite? Sometimes. But the markets don't really move that fast. The markets don't move as fast as you think. For instance here, like if I see this 30-minute close bearish on gold, and then I'm like, okay, cool, let me come back at the next 30-minute closure, and we close bullish, I go, great. That's confirmation of volume. That's confirmation of breakout. That's what I need to see my trade. Whereas most people see this and go, oh, damn, you know, I should have been buying from here. I should have been buying from here. It's like, no, that's your confirmation. That's the market showing you that what you're thinking is correct. Great. Now it's time to react. So, no, not really. I mean, sometimes, but if it rips without giving me, you know, a 30-minute closure, well, it's just not my trade anyway. And I'll just wait for price to pull back. You know, it never moves as quick as you think it's going to move. It always gives you a time, not always, but 90% of the time it gives you an opportunity to get in at a 30-minute closure or at least an hourly closure. I do prefer to watch the 30-minute closures, but it depends on what time we're at. So like right now, you're 35 minutes in, so the next 30-minute closure is also going to be the hourly closure as well. So that's probably going to be a better candle for me to wait for. But yeah, sometimes, you know, sometimes I might jump on it, just rips down, and I go, that's fine, it's just not my trade anyway. Even if I was watching it, I'm not trying to short this. That's my confirmation, here's my sell. So here's my confirmation candle, here's my entry candle. Here's my confirmation candle, here's my entry candle. You need the markets to let the market show you their cards, and then you react off it. Whereas most people are, you know, trying to buy down here and getting chopped up before the markets have even showed them that what they're thinking is correct. Do you enter with a stop order for the GC buy? Today's trade was just a market execution. But yeah, sometimes I can put in a buy stop, for example. I don't use limit orders, I only use stop orders. Stop orders or market execution. Today's support was that nice, market execution was more than enough. More than enough. Let's have a look, man. Let's have a look. Nice, it's clean, man. It's clean. I like that. I like that. Makes it easier. So right now on gold, you know, it's not that necessarily there's no volume. There's great volume in gold, but it's more so if you're entering new positions, you want to be doing it at logical areas. No, I enter on the my entry is done on the 15 and 5 minute. The 30 minutes my confirmation time frame. The 5 minutes my entry. So the only reason I'm watching the 30 minute here is because there's no confirmation here for me to take any trades. So there's no real need or desire for me to watch the 5 minute. The only time I'll drop down to the 5 minute is when I'm ready to start executing. 30 minute paints the picture. 5 minute is just for press and buy or sell. The 5 minute for me is not for making trading decisions, which I think is where a lot of people go wrong trying to trade the 5 minute. I love the 5 minute. Some guys hate the 5 minute. I personally love the 5 minute. But the 5 minute is, like I say, just for me to press buy and sell based on what the higher time frame's already told me. If the higher time frame hasn't already told me something, I like to get off it right away, because the 5 minute in ranges loves to get you trapped in bad positions all the time. But how do you manage risk when you wait for 30 minute closure? You just have a stop loss in. How do you mean? If I'm buying here off this 30 minute fake out, well, my stop loss is down here. If it gets hit, well, that's a loss. Or if it starts to close against me, but it hasn't hit my stop, then you know I can manage. But the closures for my entries, as soon as this candle closes, then I'm executing. I'm watching it. So I'm not watching it, you know, as I'm executing it. As soon as this candle closes, then I'm jumping on the charts. I'm starting to take my trades. And my management is just based on my stop, just based on previous liquidity grabs, for example. Or if this candle closes above, then I go, great, let me drop down to the 5 minute and start getting my entries. And I could go, oh cool, we're grabbing some lows, we're closing bullish, cool, I can start buying from here, risk off that liquidity grab, and then I get my trade. You can still manage risk on closures, but the candle closures are the confirmation for entry. Once I've got the confirmation for entry, then I'm sitting down and I'm watching the charts. Gold is absolutely having a phenomenal run here, guys, phenomenal run. Has NQ come for that hourly low? Yeah, nice. NQ's coming down for them lows, guys. If you are in short, very, very nice call. Like I say, I don't trade NQ to get any of these accounts, but it's nice to see NQ following the plan there. You're coming right down for that hourly wick fill. Anyone who was buying here in NQ going to get squeezed out. Lovely, lovely squeeze. Thoughts on silver? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah, we got Benji joining me in the office today, guys. Look at that. You see Sammy sleeping in the background. Sammy's a bit tired of watching gold. Look. Oh, I can't get him in there properly. Sammy's like, what are we doing still watching gold? Gold's had the move, Dad. Get over it. You missed it. Silver. I know silver's been on a crazy run recently. Same as platinum. I can't remember. Someone yesterday mentioned platinum. Platinum's been on an incredible... I've never traded platinum, but platinum recently has been on a crazy, crazy, crazy run. I wonder if gold's going to follow suit. Yeah, silver on a huge breakout. Massive, massive, massive breakout. Last week, I assume you closed extremely bullish. Alright, where's the high time frame? It's not all-time highs. Where's all-time highs? Let me just have a look here on the currency chart. What was it? XAG USD. Let me just have a quick look on my trading view chart. Wait, is that can't be? Is that all-time highs? Wow. Oh, that's huge. Okay, well, wow, yeah. Yeah, silver's on a insane run. Absolutely huge. In terms of taking new positions on silver, though, do I want to be executing new positions at price discovery levels? Not really. You know, there's nothing to the left to base price action off. So, you know, if you want to see some continuation buys on silver, daily pullbacks before continuing to buy it would be very nice. You got yesterday's high is a nice overall liquidity target. Let's have a look. That was a huge, 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 huge breakout. Massive, massive, massive breakout. I think I'd like to see silver come down and liquidate some of these 4-hour lows before coming right back to the highs. Now, I wouldn't be short in this personally, but I'd say if you can come back down here, start grabbing lows and breaking back, that would be a pretty nice range fill. Let's have a look at gold. Gold's still pushing here, guys. We are creating that range like I said we would, you know? The reason, if you guys are wondering why I'm not jumping in trades, remember guys, what did I say at the start of the stream? Gold needs to create some space. So you can try and trade these ranges, you can get frustrated, or you can just accept it and wait. Are your stops fixed at a set amount, like 25 ticks? Now, my stop loss is always dependent on liquidity. My stop loss goes below a liquidity low. So, for instance, if I was... Did you see full port? Yeah, something like that. So if I was, let's say if I was buying here on gold, my stop loss would go below the previous liquidity low, which would be here. Because you came down here, grabbed lows and broke out. So that would be my last liquidity grab. If I was buying from here, stop loss would go below this last liquidity grab. So it's never a fixed tick amount. It's based on price action. On average, I'm risking 20 to 30 ticks. Sometimes more, sometimes less. But on average, yeah, my stops are around 15, 20 to 25, 30 ticks. I manage my trades based on closure. So, you know, I might have a hard, let's say if I buy from here, I might have a hard stop on the 30-minute down here. But if the 30-minute closes against me but doesn't hit my full stop, that'll be my exit right away. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Just join my mention. Where's a good level? Wait for a buy. It's kind of pretty tough, to be honest, but much lower. I'd say maybe back down below these areas again. See if you can hold this sort of big inverse head and shoulders. Kind of got like this. If you can pull back without grabbing these highs here, that would be the exact same setup as yesterday that made us 160 plus ticks, where we could be looking for that. There we go. Oh no, what have I just done? Yeah, same as pretty much the exact same setup as yesterday, to be honest. This was our inverse head and shoulders from yesterday here. Then we had the upside targets of here. So pretty much the same thing. If today you can come down without grabbing these highs here, that could give us a very nice range. Very, very, very nice range. So yeah, to me, pulling back into these areas would be the nicest. Why do I keep losing my arrows? Let me see. Arrow, there we go. But to be honest, you know, I would be watching price anywhere below some hourly lows. But the good thing is, the way we trade, we don't really have to worry too much about where price might pull back into. If we start grabbing hourly lows and holding support, then maybe you can buy it from here. We don't really have to worry too much about, you know, can price pull back down to here, or could it pull back down to here, or could it pull back down to here? All we want to see is we want to see it pull back, and then ideally close below, and then we wait for it to close back above, and then great, then we take our trade, and then we go, okay, cool. Maybe this is the area that's going to hold, and then we buy from here to here. That's the nice thing about the way we trade is, you know, we're not really trying to predict where we could pull back to. We just let price pull back, and then we get our liquidity grabs. For instance, here yesterday, you know, this is the pullback. Here's our liquidity grab. There's our trade from here to here. 15. Let's see. Oh, on NQ, nice. Is NQ coming down for the lows? No, you have targets. You have targets. There you go. Beautiful. Full targets hit on NQ, guys. If you guys do trade NQ, well done. That was a very, very nice call on NQ. Yeah, NQ came right down for the lows there. Like I say, I don't trade NQ, but it's nice to be able to call these NQ trades with you guys. You came right down for that hourly wick fill. So anyone who was trying to buy this wick, thinking this is a huge rejection, it's going to have this nice big push up, that's not how price moves. It's always going to come down and grab them previous lows. So you came right down for that wick fill. So very, very, very nice short there on NQ. If you guys did short it, well done. Lovely call there. Gave a better opportunity than gold. Fly to Chicago for the meetup. I would absolutely love to. I would love to do an American trip one time. I've only been to America twice. I went to New York when I was like 14 or something, and I went to San Francisco 3 years ago. But yeah, I'd absolutely love to do a whole US trip. Yeah, it'd be amazing. I'd love to do a US trip. How come you don't trade NQ? I just find gold to be much more consistent and nicer with the way that it moves. And it also moves very well in my time zones. And I've just got much more consistent with gold. I get great consistency and great trades with gold that I just haven't really had the desire to look at anything else. I've always traded gold. I come from a currency background world, so gold's always been my main focus, so I haven't really felt the need to change it. Now, they'll all move different in their own characteristics. You know, they'll move similar, like gold coming down here, liquidating these lows. I mean, sorry, NQ. Similar to what gold would do, but intraday, it'll probably move in its own way. But overall, yeah, you know, they all still follow the same liquidity principles. So yeah, lovely push. No offense at all, man. Is there any reason why I don't trade XFA? We have big news coming up today. We have big news coming up today, big news coming up tomorrow. So today I was like, you know what? Let me just fire up the combines. And I may be getting moved to live. So I was like, I don't really want to mess that up beforehand. So maybe getting moved to live. So we should hear back in the next couple of days. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, if that's going to happen, then I don't want to mess up these accounts right before news. So we'll wait to hear what happens from that. Like in the meantime, yeah, cool. Let me just trade some combines instead. But yeah, we do have some trade news coming out soon in the UK, and we also have very, very, very big news tomorrow. Very, very big news tomorrow. Lovely, lovely wick fill there on NQ, guys. Great play. What was the nicest trade there? Let's see, 30-minute. I think it was the 30-minute breakout. Yeah, super simple breakout. Broke below the support, held it, could have shorted the break of the lows. Right down is there. Very, very, very nice scalp. Good job to you guys who did short. That was a great move. Nicer opportunity than gold. But yeah, I don't. Now you don't lose the combines. You know, you can still have them funded in the background. So if I pass these 100k combines, and let's say if I do get moved to live, and then, you know, let's say you lose the live, well then great. I've got funded accounts ready to go. So I've always got accounts ready to go. But I'm actually wanting to switch out some of these 50s before I get moved to live. So if we don't get moved to live yet, then I would like to use these 100s to switch out some of these 50s and build them up a little bit more. Nah, I don't use footprint, man. I use all you see right here. All we use is right here. Price action liquidity is all we need. Anything I use, you guys can see. This is all we use here on Goldie. This is all we use to catch a 200 tick move up today. You don't need anything else. Oh, no way. Let's see. Coach Troop just sent me a message on Slack. Oh, that's awesome. From CME floor, my old trading jacket from Chicago. That's amazing. Let me see if I can show you guys this on YouTube. That's awesome. Coach Troop just sent me some pictures here from the old CME floor and his old trading jacket from Chicago. Can you still go see the trading floors, or are they all completely gone? I'd love to come over to the US and see them. Let me see if I can show you guys. That's so cool. I'd love to just go see a trading floor. I know they're pretty much non-existent anymore, but if they're still there, it'd be pretty cool. Let me see if you guys can see. This is the picture from Coach Troop. Can you guys see? Kind of. That's pretty cool. That's a sweet jacket as well. Can you see it? It won't focus here. Sorry guys, you know, zoom, we can't. But it's that's some pretty cool memorabilia to have. Yeah, that's awesome. I would love to go to Chicago and see some actual trading floor history. That's where the whole futures world started. That's why I'd love to come out to Chicago one day, experience all of that. Yeah, that's awesome. Kind of blur. I know it was a. Let me see. I don't know why it was. Let me see if I can. It's worth trying to see. Let me see. There you go. Now that's a jacket to keep forever. That's awesome. That's amazing. It would be incredible to experience it. The old Elton John Deluxe. Yeah. Been to Chicago a few times. Would love to come down there for a traders meetup. Yeah, I'd love to go to Chicago. Like I said, I'd love to do a whole America trip. Go and see the guys at Topstep in Chicago. Would be awesome. Wife loved Australia. Yeah, Australia's awesome. It's hard for US trading times, I guess, but you know, I guess what the way that we see is, you know, we get great moves in Asia, we get great moves in London, so you can still get great moves here. But yeah, lifestyle here is awesome. I pretty much get, you know, good blue, sunny skies every day, good weather, which is the main reason I left the UK to move to Australia. Is yeah, good weather, good lifestyle. People are very laid back. Very laid back. It's a good place to be for a trader in terms of like the mindset. Very laid back, super chilled, which is what you need for trading. That's what I need for trading anyway. I like to be in a relaxed environment. Yeah, it's a very, very nice place. Where in the UK am I from? I'm from a very small place called Jersey. I don't even know if you, I mean, it is part of the UK. I don't know why I'm questioning. I'm from there. But I'm from a very, very small island. Look here. This is where I was born and raised. So I'm actually closer to France. So I'm from this little, very, 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 very small island. That's where I was. Now we're all the way down here. All the way here on the Gold Coast. Where are we? Here. So yeah, I'm from a very, very small island. Which is, yeah, it's part of the UK, but it's actually closer to France. It's like, I don't know, 9 by 5 miles long. It's, yeah, very, very, very small. No, no family in Australia. I moved to Australia on my own. No, you're from the, yeah, you're from the fake Jersey. You guys from New Jersey. You're from the fake Jersey. That's the OG Jersey. Yeah, and you guys from New Jersey. That's the fake Jersey. I'm from the real Jersey. But no, I had no family in Australia. I moved to Australia on my own. Just me and a suitcase. And 3 years later, I have a dog and a girlfriend. Look, I have an Australian dog. He wasn't part of the plan. Yeah, I'm lucky. I have New Zealand citizenship, so that's how I was able to move to Australia. I'm very fortunate in that sense. Very, very fortunate. Let's see. NQ. Oh, look at that, guys. NQ spiking out the lows and instantly rejecting. Do you have free room? Would love to come to Australia. Absolutely. Anytime. No investment visa. Like I say, my parents lived in New Zealand for like 5+ years before I was born, so I had full New Zealand citizenship, even though I'd never been there before, so I was very lucky. Yeah, I was very, very lucky. But yeah, Jersey is a tiny, tiny, tiny little island. It doesn't even come up on a global map, so maybe you guys have just found out where the real Jersey is today. So we've learned something here today. May have got no new trades here today, but we've learned something. Yeah, so I have dual citizenship. So I've got New Zealand citizenship and British citizenship. I had never been to New Zealand. I mean, I have now. I've been there on holiday a few times. But before getting my New Zealand citizenship, no, I had never been there. I'd never been to New Zealand. I got a full New Zealand passport and certificate in the post, which was pretty impressive, considering I'd never been there. Most of my parents lived there. Yeah, not New Jersey. Let's not get it confused. Not New Jersey. All right, Zoom guys, give me 2 seconds. All right, YouTube guys, I'm gonna wrap up there, guys. No, unfortunately, no new trades here today. But like I say, you know, gold's had an incredible move today, and the buys on gold were pre-London. So for London Open, guys, what we were saying is it's very likely that gold's going to create a range, and that's pretty much what we've done. So the good thing is we're not getting chopped up in here. We're staying patient. We're following the plan. There was a great call on the NQ shorts, and this is why we don't get emotional, guys. We trade what's right in front of us. So the reason I haven't traded in this range, it's not because I don't want to take trades, guys. I absolutely want to take trades, guys. But it's more so because I'm being very reactive and I'm seeing the markets from that complete neutral perspective. So with gold in this range, guys, what we're looking for is gold to have a retracement pre-New York, ideally. And then New York, I want to see if we can continue buying gold up into that 3360 level that Coach Hoop mentioned, and also this high here and previous NFP breakout levels. So remember, guys, you got D coming on right after me as well. So be sure to stay tuned for D's session in about half an hour. I appreciate you guys taking the time to tune in, and I'll see you guys same time again tomorrow, where hopefully gold hasn't had a crazy move. And yeah, trade safe, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow for the big news day. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.